everyone, this is Varsha, and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So, once again, we are here with you all to discuss the success story of one more achiever of our, and this time we have with us Mr. Dipesh Kurupat. So, Mr. Dipesh is a seasoned entrepreneur with 20 years of industry experience across multiple domains that includes logistics, banking, insurance, and healthcare. He is currently the CEO of Innovative Technologies Pune, established in 2017 and building an AI driven logistic ecosystem Cargo FL. Dipesh is considered one of the SMEs in graph databases, data analytics, ML, and AI. He has a US patent for Code Accelerator, a technology and process framework helping organizations migrate from one tech stack to another. Dipesh strongly believes in taking up challenges and changes in life. He enjoys solving problems, so the finding a solution journey is what keeps him going. So before getting to know more about the young man, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hello, Mr. Dipesh. How are you?
Yeah, hi Varsha, I'm good. How are you?
All good, sir. Thank you so very much. So before we actually start the question and answer segment, I'm very keen to know that how did you actually land up to the idea of starting up with this particular, organization of yours?
I have a total of 20 plus years of industry experience. So I was in San Francisco. I was a VP for Bank of America and I was working there. And I have some experience in the past with logistics and supply chain because I was helping another startup at that time from US. So they were operating in India and they were looking for some technology support from my side, right? So I was helping them get the technology implemented remotely. Though I was in US, I was helping them to get that implemented here in India. So in that process, I came to learn a lot about logistics and supply chain, but also found that the transporters here in India, I mean the truck owners here in India, they do not have access to good technology. They are considered to be blue collar people. They are not treated properly when they go for pickups, and like when they try to deal with big corporates. I'll give you an example. Let's say if you go to any big corporate of India, let's say in any FMCG or any big company, right? You can see n number of transporters. I mean, the truck wallas whom we call in India, n number of transporters there who are supplying their trucks, but they still operate in a paper model. So they take some paper books, like go to the transporter, they fill with hand. So almost all the operations are handled in a very, very manual way. So in a completely blue collared way. So something that inspired me was we have so many small businesses, micro entrepreneurs in India, like these truck wallas. So some have one truck, some have five, some have 100, some have 500. Irrespective of the size, all these guys were still in a non electronic mode, right? And the world was going towards a completely digital kind of a world, right, where every business is getting more and more digital. So 2016 is when Geo, I think, was launched, and Geo was a very major disruptor in the Indian ecosystem because Geo placed the power of technology into the hands of almost, everyone, right? So now you can easily access internet on your phone. So all of a sudden, most of these drivers and transporters, they have access to internet. Now, the only thing that was missing among them was a software, was a digital platform through which they can become digital. So that is where we came in and we said, okay, let's build a small ERP which can be accessed on the cloud by these transporters so they can go online from offline. So that was the thought process. So how we can take all these transporters across India, different states, and bring them completely online. That's how we started off way back in 2017 July, and now we are at a stage where we have more than 100 plus transporters on our platform. They're completely digital. We also provide a supply chain technology to shippers, which means customers. So we are connecting both the shippers and the transporters. So that's how it all got started.
Lovely, Deepesh. So now moving ahead, nothing comes that easy to us. So I'm sure that you must have also faced certain sort of challenges in your professional journey. So what were those challenges that you have to go through? If you can please talk about those, please.
So, I mean, as a startup, right, India is actually blessed with so many entrepreneurs, right? So we have entrepreneurs of different sizes, small entrepreneurs, medium, large entrepreneurs. India has always been a land of entrepreneurs. And in the startup industry, like when we entrepreneurs jump into the startup space and we try to build some kind of a startup, there are different challenges right from understanding the market to launching the product. So the complete life cycle depends on the type of product that you're trying to chase. So in my case, so we were into the logistics and supply chain. Now, like what I said just before, that most of my customers, they are not digital savvy. They don't have a laptop, they don't have a desktop, they were not having access to internet before. I mean, before the geo came in. So those were the initial set of challenges. So we can build a technology and we can go to our customers, but how do we get them the infrastructure through which they can become white collared from blue collared, right? So that's a very, very critical problem. And that is the reason why most of the startups were not looking at logistics and supply chain as a good market. That is number one. Number two, if you look at the customer segment for us, which is again supply chain and logistics, these stakeholders who are there, like these transporters or the brokers, they are not that high earning people. There are few people who earn a lot, but most of the people like earn very average. So whatever we build, that has to be affordable. That is the second challenge, right? Which we had. So the first was more related to the infrastructure. The second was how we can make this particular product very, very affordable. Otherwise, adoption will be very low. And if these people won't adopt it, then our product won't fly, right? And then we have to wait for the right time, those kind of things. The third is, let's say, even if you make internet available, so and if you make the software affordable, how do you bridge the skill gap? So to use a particular system, to use a laptop, to use desktop, you need to have some basic skills. Maybe at least open a Word document, type in something, or at least know basic English things, right? So that's where we also made our platform support like multiple languages. So today we support Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Marathi, Hindi. So these basic languages we support on our platform, right? But other than that, still people have to use a desktop or people have to use a laptop. So they need to know that. And so that is the third challenge. How do you upskill the people in your segment and bring them to the next level, right? So we devised training programs for that. And so both way it was like using the YouTube as a medium and also like physical training. That's how we started off. The fourth channel was, I'll say not the awareness, but actually the mentality, right? So even when we went to very big corporates, the people who are working in the logistics space there, for some reason they had this mentality that we don't need technology. Why do we need technology, right? I can afford hundreds of labors at a low cost. What advantage is technology going to bring in? So there was a gap between the mentality of the senior management and the mid management. The senior management were people who were like way ahead of the game and they wanted technology and everything because they have seen a broader spectrum of implementations across different countries. But the mid management and the lower management are people who have this particular mindset, I can say, that why should we bring in software? It's an additional cost, right? So we had to clarify those things and tell them that technology is not for support only. Yes, obviously it can give you a beautiful system. It will, all your data will be in. But other than the support, it can also help you become more intelligent. It can automate a lot of your processes, and through which you can achieve significant cost savings. So that mentality change was one of the major challenges which we had to face. And I can say that during the COVID time, this mentality literally changed, right? I think the COVID was the biggest disruptor when everyone went home, and like people were all working remote. All of a sudden, people started realizing, yes, using technology, you can be remote, you can still communicate, you can still get your work done. There is value in automation. So all those things came in because of COVID. So what we were trying, or what would have taken us a couple of years to solve, got automatically pushed or solved by the COVID condition. So it was a blessing in disguise. In some way, I know that the health side, it was not good. I mean, from an economy perspective, we had a lot of impact. But on the other end, people started prepping up, and now people are looking at technology more seriously, and they are trying to see how we can get more value add from technology. So I think these were the couple of challenges which we had.
Right, Mr. Dipesh. So now moving ahead, what exactly are the product and services that Cargo FL is, providing to people out there?
Cargo FL is a supply chain automation platform. So we provide logistics and supply chain technology to big companies. So it can be a big corporate. So think about any big manufacturing company or a retail company, and they are producing something, and so they have to handle their logistics and supply chain. So they are our customers. So we provide automation of logistics and supply chain for them. We also provide automation of logistics and supply chain to the transporters, right? So we have two ends of the spectrum. So in a simple language, I'll define that we are cloud based, software as a service, SaaS, logistics and supply chain technology, connecting shippers, the people who are shipping it, the manufacturers or the business, to the transporters who are completing the shipment, who are taking those goods and who are moving it across, right? So that's what at a very, very high level we are about. So I'll give you one more example. Let's say if you're working for Coca-Cola, Pepsi, I mean, like name any big manufacturing company, right? And if you are the logistics manager, what do? You come early in the morning to office at 9 o'clock, and the team there, I mean, that is in the factory, they convey to you that you have to ship today, let's say, 1 lakh boxes, 100,000 boxes of Coke across the country, right? So as a logistics manager, you have to plan it. You need to understand, how do I ship it? How many trucks do I need? What is the most optimized route? How do I load it properly? How do I plan my manpower? How do I plan my packaging material, loading process, unloading process, all those things? And also, how can I predict how much capacity, how much trucks do I need for this week, this month, next 6 months, and all those things, right? So that's what a logistics manager, day in day out, they do these kind of functions. Also, they have to match with their inventory and those things. Now, on the other side, if you look at the transporter, right, the transporter has to come in, he has to pick up, he has to load it, then he has to transport. So there are different type of paperwork that is involved. There are compliances that he has to follow, and he should deliver the shipments on time. So the shipper has to track him. So if you look at it, logistics has to work seamlessly, so that on one side, the products that are being produced is reaching out to the consignees on time, the people who have to receive on time, right? So today, I can just sit at home, order something from Amazon, and there's someone who comes at the door, knocks at the door, and he gives our shipment to us. It looks pretty simple, but in the background, the technology that is involved, the technology that is used, is pretty complex, right? Lot of things are involved. So we provide that kind of top class supply chain and logistics technology to this world. So you can say we can help our customers become like Amazon. So we can help them achieve the level of fulfillment that Amazon provides, right, or Flipkart provides to any company. It can be any manufacturing company, right? So what Amazon has built it for them, that logistics and supply chain tech, that same tech we have with us, and we enable both the shippers, the people who are producing, who want to ship, and the transporters get empowered with that kind of technology, and save significant cost and improve their productivity. So that's what we are about.
Right, sir. So now talking about the future, what further plans are you having for your company in the upcoming years? If you can please share a bit about those plans, please.
So it's just 4 years now for us. We completed 4 years this July, and now we have very good clientele in India. A lot of good corporates in our with us. About 9 corporate customers at this point, who are very big corporate customers. We also have 100 plus transporters with us. Our next goal is to venture into the North American market. The Indian market, we will continue exploring, and we are working on getting good customers. But on the other side, we now want to explore the US and Canada as the market, because logistics and supply chain is very, very high in demand uh, in the North America. So we would like to leverage our technology to build a solution for corporates in the North American market. So that's our immediate goal. But over a period of time, we want to evolve into a tech kind of a company for logistics and supply chain, where businesses across the globe, irrespective of the geography, should be able to configure Cargo FL the way they want, and get that implemented. For example, the way we think about ourselves is we are like a play store of logistics and supply chain technology apps. So like how you can go to your app store, or go, or your Play Store on your phone, you can pick and choose the apps, and then you can use them. Same way, right? If a business wants to build a transport management system, a transport management software, they don't have to employ their own IT team, design, and spend like years in building their own TMS. But they should be just able to come to cargofl.com, register, get in, and say that, okay, I need like inbound logistics. So they should be able to drag and drop, and they should have an inbound logistics workflow. Outbound logistics, they should be able to have that kind of a workflow. So that's how we are looking at our product growing: completely customizable, configurable logistics and supply chain technology for across the globe. So that's how we're looking at it. But yes, to start with, we'll be looking at the North American market to get going.
Right, and I wish you all the success for all these plans of yours, Deepesh. Ahead, you must be knowing about the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign that is, going on in India at the moment. So, what are your thoughts and views on this campaign, and also how is your organization working?
Yeah, it's a very wonderful campaign that's going on, and we are actively contributing to that particular space. So I'll give you an example. The most important participant in the Atmanirbhar Bharat is basically the MSME segment, right? The micro, small, and medium enterprises. And if you look at all the transporters across India, they are MSMEs. Other than that, we have given logistics and supply chain technology to paper industry now. So we have paper industry customers, manufacturers as our supply chain customers. We also have given to plywood industry, so they are also our customers, right? So what we are, how we are participating is we are looking at that MSME segment, and we are trying to categorize them by verticals like paper industry, plywood industry, trucking industry, pharma industry. So in that particular perspective, retail space kind of a thing, and we are building our supply chain technology for these verticals, right? So what we believe is, if you can empower the MSMEs with technology, help them go from offline to online, make them digital, that is the best thing that any startup can do to get these people into the mainstream, which is again the very motto of Atmanirbhar Bharat. right? So how we can have our small businesses spread across the country, be self-reliant, be able to afford technology the way they want to afford to, right? And be more productive, achieve cost savings, kind of a thing. And that's how we are looking at it, and that's how we are contributing to Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Right, Mr. Dipesh. So now, though I know it's always a very wonderful feeling when we get recognitions for our work, still, I would love to know from you that what are your feelings on winning this Indian Achievers Award?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a privilege that we have got this award, and thank you, Varsha, for you and team, to go through our profile, like screen it through like multiple number of profiles that you would have got, and finally select us for this kind of an award. So I mean, I'm very privileged to have this award. I'm very happy about that. So spent a lot of time in building this startup, and to get this startup to this kind of a level where within 4 years we have about 9+ corporate customers and 100+ transporters on our platform, which means overall we have achieved a client base of close to like 115 customers in 4 years. And it's not only me, but in the background, there are a lot of other, my whole team is working towards it. But yes, getting this kind of a recognition is important. And also, we are very lucky in that perspective because that shows that our effort has been recognized, and whatever we are working on is turning out to be more fruitful. So, thank you to IAF for this.
And I once again congratulate the entire team for this achievement, Dipesh.
Thank you, Asha. Thank you.
All right, sir. So now, if you can please put some light on your social contribution too, please.
So, from a social perspective, what we are doing is we are giving our technology free of cost to small scale truck owners. Okay. And that is number one. Number two, we are providing some kind of driver training programs through which drivers who are not digitally able, drivers who are still in a blue collared model of working, we enable them, we empower them with technology. So that's something which we are doing. And thirdly, what we're doing is we are also trying to connect these small transporters to big customers. So we are giving them a platform through which they will become visible to business owners so they can get more business, right? In the end, what these transporters are looking for, you can give them a lot of, I'll say, technology or training and everything, but in the end, they're looking for business, right? So they need to have the constant income coming in. And for that, we have to give them a platform through which they can reach out to business. They can showcase their strength and become more valuable to their customers, right? So that's how we are doing it. So these services are very much free of the cost. Transporters can just get attached with us. They can register with us, and we will project them to our customers, and we'll help them get business, right? And the training services, everything automatically comes when they get our free app, and they can start using it. So, I mean, there is a cap to this particular free app that they can take it. But what we believe is the free version of our product is sufficient for a small scale transporter to get started from a digital perspective. So that's how we are working towards it. We have some more thought process that is going on in terms of giving some kind of finance, insurance, those kind of features through our product, free of cost to many of these transporters. But that is still being worked out. So that will come in the later releases.
Amazing work you all are doing. So now, before concluding our lovely session, what message or mantra you would like to give to our younger generation who wish to become a successful entrepreneur someday?
So what I'll say is it's very important for younger. I mean the younger generation, like they all have this energy in them to jump into the startup bandwagon, and they think that we want to do this, we want to do that. All those things are good, but please do understand that startup world is a little tough space in terms of getting the initial set of customers and starting the project in a full-fledged manner, right? So getting to a revenue positive state takes some time and a lot of energy, right? So a lot of energy is required, and it's not that you can just get started and things will happen. So it will take time. So my first suggestion will be that you have to put this mental frame in mind that it will take at least 3 to 5 years for your startup or your company to get to some level of maturity, right? So have that mindset when you start, so you don't have wrong expectations that you just started today and you will have something within 6 months or 1 year. So it takes time to build a product and to take it to the scale. Maybe you will get the first, second, third customers because you're connected to some people, so that is fine. But how do you move from 1 to 3 to 100 is where the challenge is. So that has to be thought through, and that has to be executed. So number one, expect that it will take some time. Number two, make sure that you keep connecting with as many mentors as possible and start talking to them from day one, because mentors in that space where you are working, where your startup is focused on, they can help you understand what kind of problems can come in and whom to talk to, how to approach your customers. So that kind of a thing is very, very important. Number three is financials, right? So it's going to be a lot of burn kind of a journey. You are lucky if you can raise funds early. That is the best thing that you can do. If you have that, let's say, capacity to do that. For example, if you're working for some premier institutes, so you will be connected with VCs. If you are connected with some incubation, acceleration kind of programs, then they will also help you get to VCs or, investors. So that's another good channel, right? So try to see if you can get funded at a very early stage. It can be angel funding or it can be seed funding, but some kind of funding, so you can sustain yourself for at least next 2 to 3 years without income based on your customers. So you are giving more value added kind of things to your customers, right? So funding is very, very important. So look for those things and don't assume that you'll get started and after 1 year you'll get funding. So it may or may not happen. If you can get it at the pilot phase, at the very initial stage itself, that will be beautiful. And last most important thing is your customers, right? So make sure that the value that we generate to the customers is something that can scale. So work on ideas that can multiply and by itself, kind of a thing, right? So when you are working for a customer, you have identified a problem, that is well and good, but can that solution what you're building scale 10x, right, by itself? So that kind of a thought process should be there, right? Otherwise you may get stuck with one customer, two customer, three customer, and you will spend 4 to 5 years in building value for them, and you will realize that okay, taking it to the next three customers will take another 5 years. So then it's no longer a startup kind of a model. So that's another important thing that we have to keep in mind, right? So yeah, I think a couple of these things.
Very rightly said, Mr. Deepesh. So thank you so very much for joining with us today. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the success for all your future endeavors too. And may you continue to inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Varsha. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for having me, and appreciate your time.